Hello everyone, I am Coolguy. Welcome back. It is week 2 of Age of Triumph vendor reset rolls. So we get new rolls on our weapons. Let's go ahead and jump right on in. And this is going to be a little bit faster this week. Last week was establishing the series. We're going to start off with the Continental. And between this and the Extremophile, I like this Continental a little bit more because of what we can do with crowd control. Now this archetype is like the AR-41. It is like the Righteous 7, the Monte Carlo. Really good. We have quick draw or reflex. I will be using reflex. So I don't really touch an AR with crowd unless it has about 35 or above, which this one does. We have crowd control, perfect balance, or rifled with third eye. It doesn't have counterbalance, but that's okay. We are going to be using this in PvE and PvP to get some good kills and then get crowd control going. So I really like the Continental this week. I would pass on the Parthian shot. Doesn't have counterbalance, doesn't have any good mid-tier perks. The Angel's Advocate is going to be on the list. 100% get this because you know what? It has some things that we like. Outlaw, explosive rounds, Firefly. Now that sounds familiar, doesn't it? It's like a popular hand cannon that we like. So this is like the Mida multi-tool, and it's okay that you bring your magazine down for range and stability because we do have Outlaw. We have the range lens, the OAG. I'll probably be using the ORA or the rifle scope. I do recommend getting this for PvE and PvP. It's going to be a monster. And it's tough saying that because a lot of my spots in PvE and the top weapon is going to be those adept weapons, Smite or Moraine when it comes out, Fatebringer. So if I do put on, let's say, a Icebreaker or something like that, or a Dragon's Breath or a Gallarhorn, I would like this Angel's Advocate to be there. How dare you? And the only reason we're going to pick this up possibly, this is going to be to the user, because within the archetype, high rate of fire, definitely not a PvE weapon. We're talking PvP here. Rifled Barrel Rangefinder, the Golden 2, the top 2 of the rule. Now we also have Relentless Tracker and Partial Refund. It does have Sure Shot. So it's going to be to you, the user, if you want to try this out, use with your own caution. It can be competitive, but they're just not in a really good spot right now with that 3 meter or 4.5 meter range nerf. X Astris, not a fan of it this week. TEACUP Tempest, really good roll, but the Wormwood is actually better. Just real quick, it has Relentless Tracker, Cascade, Snapshot, High Caliber Rounds, Rangefinder. Rangefinder is always good on a sidearm because they have very deep damage and strict, very long fall off. So, moving on to the Occam's Razor, not so much. Seventh Sense, and this is kind of funny because let me see if this is the one. Perfectionist. Skip rounds, perfect balance. The main thing we want is snapshot or quick draw. Wild Hawk, View Tac, Ambush. I would actually pass. Moving on to the Bone Crusher. I recommend this only because of Take a Knee with Crowd and Braced. And if you guys have never used Take a Knee, if you want to try it on a weapon, try it on this Bone Crusher. I mean, if you don't have a good heavy machine gun, the guys that do use Take a Knee know exactly what I'm talking about. This does have aggressive ballistics. This thing thumps hard. It's a 3 headshot kill. Okay, so with crowd control, in theory, it'll be doing in the 80s, low 80s a headshot. Very good heavy machine gun. And the last we have disassembly required. It doesn't have any tracking. It doesn't have any grenades and horseshoes, anything like that. It does have quick draw and tripod, but then again, if you're going to do that, you might as well use the Raid rocket launcher. Let's move on to Dead Orbit. The Extremophile and the Continental, I'm really looking for a counterbalance roll with Sure Shot, but we're looking at all options because we do like auto rifles, at least some of us do. This one is Rangefinder. We have Rodeo, so that's actually decent because we have Rodeo. And I would go Snapshot over armor-piercing rounds. Well, I don't know. You could actually go through people in PvP and PvE. As far as PvE goes, it could be decent if you do armor-piercing Rodeo range. I would actually use the Continental this week. Keystone, I've never really been a fan of this particular one. I like the Wounded way more. We have Hammer Forged, Unflinching, Firefly. So it does have, you know, a nice perk for PvE with Firefly. Ranged OEG, Red Dot, I would actually pass. The Wounded this week, I believe, is a lot better. Last Ditch, we actually skipped it last week real quick. What makes this thing special is it can have quick draw in the middle. It's a little bit different flavor. The Party Crasher can have quick draw as well. Now, here's the deal. I have the same exact roll. Let me see if it's actually on me. Look for this Last Ditch with Extended Mag, Surrounded, and Crowd Control. That's what I have because we're not really worried about range too much in PvE, but the Extended Mag with Surrounded is a good perk for PvE. If you don't have a good PvE shotgun, I would actually look into this, but mine has Crowd and that's what I would look for. You do massive damage with that. Bitter Edge, it's another take a knee weapon. This one's kind of funny because it wants you to take a knee and post up because we have Hawkeye, Long View, and Eagle Eye. I just thought that was hilarious. That's why we're going over it. I would pass. I would definitely pass on this bad boy. No good mid-range perks. And the rocket launcher is decent just because we have Field Scout, Spray and Play, and Grenades and Horseshoes. Horrible blast radius, horrible velocity, but we do have a very strong reload with Spray and Play. We do have aggressive launch as well, so that's really all you could really ask for on the Unto Dust. Probably one of the better rolls you'll ever get on it right there. Moving on with Lakshmi here at the Future War Cult. We'll start off with the Whale, not so much this week. For it to be competitive, it needs a couple of things. The Waltz last week was a lot better with the counterbalance roll. This does have Rodeo. I would pass until we get another counterbalance roll and or Head Seeker, something like that. Or, you know, whatever we can get, but not this week. The Waiting has a good charge rate with knee pads. At the very end of the slide, you can actually get the kill. So maybe if you fusion rifles enjoy this archetype, I actually do like this higher impact fusion rifle. Accelerated coils, lightweight, small bore, knee pads. So we would be running these two together with probably accelerated coils. It's going to be up to you. The Wounded, again, like I said, I like it because of its base stability, and it's tough for these to be in PvE now, in my opinion, because of the adept weapons, right? Smite and Moraine when it comes out, Fever and Remedy, Fatebringer, goes on and on, the Fang of Your Yut, they're so good, so one of these has to be perfect for me to warrant usage over like the Old Hung Jury or something like that. This one's actually pretty good because we have Extended Mag, Triple Tap, and Zen to get a lot of stability to land headshots for massive damage, so this will probably go up to about 18 or so, and the magazine will be over 20 with Zen, so it's going to be up to you. It does have the rifle scope and ORA, especially when you're using Icebreaker or something like that, or Dragon's Breath or Gallarhorn. You want a good, nice scout rifle, etc. in your top spot. Not so much for the Warpath, Cluster Bomb. And last but not least, we have the Wormwood, and this definitely is going to be going on the list. We don't have Sure Shot, we have True Sight, Fast Draw, Quick Draw, but we have high caliber rounds, Zen Moment, and Rangefinder. Top tier PvP sidearm, you guys have been seeing everywhere. There's a reason why people use it. It's the most competitive archetype. So go ahead and pick this up. If you don't have a decent sidearm, this will definitely fill all your needs. Alright, we're at the Crucible Quartermaster, and actually the 0 Day Dilemma is decent because of Hidden Hand, right? Hidden Hand with Braced or a Pennant Magazine, and we have Battle Runner. And I'm really enjoying this archetype. Let's see if I even have him on. I've been using a Grim Citizen lately, and I tell you what, I had a 40 kill game with one of these Grim Citizens, and they are competitive, man. They're actually doing really good. This one's Counterbalance and Hot Swap. This one's Hand Late Stock Counterbalance and Spray and Play. They are very good. If you're wanting to get into auto rifles, this might be a decent one to try out. So I can semi-recommend it. It's not going to be on the top of the list. Party favor, it has synergy because we have a low magazine with glass half full, and we also have Sure Shot. So if you don't have a good Hawksaw or a PDX, I would recommend this one. Only if you don't have a good one of those, or like the Blind Perdition, things like that. Moving on, hero formula. As far as scout rifles go this week, I would go with the Wounded and definitely the Angel's Advocate. Not the hero this week. Palindrome, pass. Doesn't have any good mid-tier perks. Horrible PvE weapon without those. Each New Day, very good roll, and I would actually recommend this if you like fusion rifles, because we have Icarus Counterbalance with accelerated coils or small bore. And small bore is okay. Small bore is okay because we have the counterbalance to get even more tight grouping left to right with the projectiles. Good fusion rifle. Curtain Call, again, if you don't have a good, quote, God-rolled Matador, this is a good start because we have Rifled Barrel, Rangefinder, Aggressive Ballistics. It's what you want. Army of One's a good passive perk. Cascade, not so much because we're not getting good ammo. Now, Rangefinder got a nerf. I'm actually looking for weapons now with crowd control, with performance bonus, but it handles a lot slower. You have to be a little bit more careful with it, so it's going to be up to you. It's decent this week. Anton's Rill, not so much. Event Horizon, for PvE, yes. Again, we were talking about having an adept weapon with the burn, such as Fatebringer, etc. This has short gaze tactics. Now, it doesn't have quick draw or anything like that, but we're focusing on a PvE role here. And I use the Ex Machina, actually, because I feel that the high-impact snipers are the way to roll. Because we have triple tap with Casket Mag, okay? So we're actually going to get that to proc a little bit with Hidden Hand. So if you don't have a good PvE sniper rifle, get that Event Horizon, definitely. Chaotic Neutral, I would go with Bone Crusher this week. And Something Wicked, not so much. And last but not least, we have Executor Adeo. And I tell you what, guys, the assembly is going to be making the list again for different flavors, different things. And I use a lot of different weapons, man, and each one tells you something, and this has a lot of potential. Now, we don't have Sure Shot, but we do have the Reflex, which is decent. But check this out. High caliber rounds, perfect balance, or crowd control with counterbalance. This is a very good roll for this type of auto rifle, especially because of all of this together, these three. And the magazine is high enough to get a kill, to get crowd going. And then high caliber rounds, this actually might be good as a bullet hose and like, let's say strikes. I mean, to have fun in strikes. Actually, after this, I'm buying this once I get on my Warlock, and I'm going straight into PvP with it. Free Will, not so much. Get How Dare You this week if you decide on it. And Preacher, not so much. It's not a competitive archetype. And even in PvE, the other ones do just a lot more damage. This does have high cals with range, and that's okay. But I just really kind of hate where these are, if that makes any sense. Some people like them, the majority don't, and there's a reason why. Bad Counsel, it's a horrible archetype, and it's just kind of funny that these haven't been brought up. They need to be brought up. If it had Replenish or something, I might go with it, but not so much. Alright, then we have the Deposition. This is a very passive purchase for you because it does have Take a Knee and Snapshot, okay, with the ambush or with the short gaze, I apologize, or taxes. So it does have a close range scope. And then we have Hammer Forge or Triple Tap. And I would actually, just for fun, do Triple Tap to see if I can get a Triple Tap kill with this Take a Knee. And again, it's a very solid perk if you guys have never used it. I would either pick up the Bone Crusher or Deposition this week to try it out. Bone Crusher probably first, and then finally we have the First Citizen. Now this one does have persistence with Feeding Frenzy, but I have to get counterbalance on this. I have used these things without counterbalance, and they are tough, boys. They are tough, and girls. They are tough to use. So it might be a decent PvE weapon because we have Extended Mag, we have Feeding Frenzy, and we have persistence, but other weapons are going to be much better. So on the screen we have the top 3 weapons this week. Then we have some good starter ones and some ones that are going to be to your own usage. Maybe you could find some use in them. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and on my channel we're going to be doing the top 1 is going to be getting a actual review, and the other 2 are going to be getting live gameplay commentaries. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys like, what you picked up, and what you didn't. Let's talk about it in the comment section a little bit. If you're looking for armor reset rolls and all things Destiny reset, such as the raid and different modifiers, head on over to Mesa Sean's channel. There's a link in the description. He's got you covered. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until the next one, I am Coolguy.